Kenneth Bird. My company is Black Series Edition LLC. I really got to get working on this other company too. I got two other companies I'm working on right now. I should have started this topic off today when I was talking about this, about why screen paints should be tested, and they should be tested. They should be tested because there are so many tests that are missing on screen paint products. It is not even funny how many tests are missing that are not being done. These are products that are just being pushed out too fast to the consumers without proper testing, and they should be. Should be some rules and regulations in place to show that these products are not going to end up matching house paints and other things at the end of the day. And the fact that I think they really ought to start cracking down on this. I'm going to put in some let's see what I can do to basically start heightening the restrictions on before a screen paint product can be sold on the market, that it has to go through testing. It has to go through proper channels in order for it to even get a chance to be sold, and it should be this way. And the reason why is because we have a lot of these products now that are matching house paint. A lot of screen paints are matching house paint, everyday products that the consumer can buy. And this needs to be looked into. I mean, when it comes to projection screens, as a certified screens, they have to go through a certain amount of testing in order to be able to show that they are physical certified screens. But you got a lot of screen paint products coming out there that are not properly tested. And again, one of the tests that I talked about is how close does a screen paint come to everyday household paints. Now below, we have posted our test page, and our test page our products under the 48. And under the 48, you will see tons of test demonstrations. We test our screens the minute they come out. We basically test them against certifieds and black paint, black fabric, you name it, it's been done. Very high ambient light environments, inside, outside. And the problem we have here, we have a lot of people, or actually it's a few people that are making these accusations that their products are doing certain things, but they're not. Where are these test demonstrations? Where is the proof that these products actually do work? Because at the end of the day, as I said before, the consumer could just as well just be getting an overpriced can of gray paint that could do nothing more than just do the exact same thing as if they have a gray wall right now in their basement or their house to do the exact same thing. So where are the tests? One of the tests that a gray screen should be doing, black screen, our black technology does, I can't vouch for anybody else, but you have to do a gray versus gray. Now, for those who know what that is, this is where you compare gray screen versus other gray products, the gray paints. This should be done because, again, what is the difference between a paint you're going to pay $95 for or $300 for next to something you can slide off a shelf and get the same results? What's the difference? Where are you saving any money at? So these are things that come up in form sites all the time when we come in there with black screens. Can I do the same thing with black paint? Can I do the same thing with black fabric? Can I do so and so? This is why we have these tests done called black versus black, so we can show the difference off between our product versus anything you may pick up at the store, or any kind of fabric or material you may use. We show you the difference. And this is what I don't see in gray products. We never see these demonstrations. Or actually, we saw a few of them, but as you saw the results were extremely bad. Now, this is all the more reason why screen paint should have to go through a certain requirement before they can even get the ability to be able to sell. Because we had someone, and they're on the blacklist, you can go and check it out, who failed miserably in a test demonstration or whatever he was trying to prove, and he matched the product. Not only one time, multiple times he matched. And this is a person who got on camera and told his customers that they were getting something completely different. Something was going to enhance their projector. Something was going to bring this beautiful quality at the end of the day, to find out that the customer can do the exact same thing. If he or she walked down to a Home Depot, Lowe's, or just made it out of everyday black and white paint, they would have got the exact same results. Now think how much money that individual lost at the end of the day, because this person was not required to go through proper testing before selling an item. And that's the reason why when we have so much hatred that comes toward us, toward other people make products, because again, they want to take the lazy way out. They don't want to work for it. because we raised the bar. They can't stand this. This drives them crazy because, again, that means their gravy ticket's going to get cut off real quick. And I think this should become a procedure. I don't know who I got to talk to, but I will find out. I have a couple of people who work in the field, and I will find out exactly if it can be posted a requirement before a product can be sold, that it has to be able to back exactly what it's designed to do. Now, one of the bigger problems, like I said, is gray screen paints. And like I said, we see people saying, yeah, they'll work with venue projectors. That's true. They can pick up on a venue. Pretty much anything will pick up on that stuff. But the performance of what it can do when it's being hit with the venue projector, saying it can pull a 100% contrast level, lie. Saying that it can pull in ambient light environments, lie. Gray screens don't do extremely well in ambient light environments. They wash out extremely fast. As we're going to have the Patriot's going to have two versions of it. And then the Patriot's going to have one which is a little darker, one that's going to be much lighter. And with the Patriot, you'll see basically where we put our disclaimers up there, and disclaimers will tell you that, no, you cannot do this and can't do that, because we know you can't do that. And you'll see tests under the Patriot, as we did with the 2.0. So, as I said before, that these are products that should be tested, because we have people that will come on YouTube and talk about things that their products can do, and we clearly know their products cannot do this at all, period. No gray screen will ever be able to pull a contrast level equal to any black screen. Matter of fact, a gray screen can't even pull a dark shade of gray next to gunmetal technology. Not going to happen. So that's a complete lie. And the reason why we see a lot of people doing these demonstrations in dark environments and trying to use the ambient light rejection as a form of a crutch, like, well, you have to use an ambient light rejection. No. If a product is ambient light rejection, it shouldn't be in a controlled environment. That's one of the gripes I have with certified screens. If you're going to claim your product to be ambient light rejection technology, you should not have to be stuck in an ambient light controlled environment. You should be able to turn the light on or off, and the screen should react. Shouldn't have that issue. That's another thing. I talked to somebody over at Projector Central about how ambient light rejection technology has been completely watered down. But anyway, get into these screen paint products. Again, a lot of them are typecast. What I mean is a typecast, they're done on the exact same projectors over and over and over again. And again, the customer doesn't know how that screen paint is going to react to their projector if it's being produced on the same projector every single day. A projector of 3,000 lumens or a projector 5,000 to 1,000 lumens are going to be two completely different machines, and you must show that there is going to be a very less of a difference when the two projectors are fired off at the same time, which we show you in our demonstrations display, which is 720p versus 5,000 lumens, or 1,000 lumens versus 5,000 lumens, and 720p versus 1080p. So this is stuff you have to be to show. But most importantly, like I said, is that gray versus gray, which is extremely important, because again, the customer needs to know, are they buying a real screen paint or are they just getting house paint? And that's something you don't want to be caught up in, because again, you have spent money for something that you could have easily went and did it yourself. Now, as I said before, the test that should be done under the gray versus gray is basically very simple. The person takes their product, they put it next to network gray, which is a good one to do. Bare silver screen, another good one to do. The slip silver micro blend by Amazon, very good one to do. And black and white mixture, because that's how majority of most gray paints are made. It's just black and white paint. That's basically about it. And put their product right next to these different screens, and then do a contrast demonstration in a fully lit environment to see which one pulls the highest contrast level. Those need to be done. Now, on our demonstrations, let me see if I can come over here on our section here. We'll go over, this is our test page. If you go to our website, you will see all our different categories. I forgot my mouse, this one too. And right here near the end, we have demo and test. These are all the test demonstrations we put under our products to show our customers at the end of the day that we can back our products. This is what I do not see on sites. I'm not just talking about two individuals. I'm talking about any site we hit involving gray screen paint products or any kind of projection screen paint product. We didn't find any tests done at all, period. There is no test page at all. So how does the screen paint react? What's the difference between bare silver screen What's the difference between network gray? What's the difference between, hey, 1050, bare 1050 and black paint? What's the difference between those products versus some of these great products we have out here? What's the difference? And that's the magic question. So again, haven't seen any of these demonstrations at all being done. 1,000 lumens. Oh, this is what we do with the black fabric. We eat this all the time. So, sorry about that. We get, if I put black fabric down, well, I get the same result. As I said before, black fabric can see contrast. The only problem is it can't pick up a white level. But that it can see. And the reason why we did those tests, because again, we gave away, when we did black alcohol free surfaces, we gave out black surfaces. And some people may think, okay, I'm just going to use a black surface. I don't need the paint. I'll just return the paint, keep the black surface. Well, they found out the hard way that when they gave away when they sent the paint back, that they kept the black surface and found that the black surface couldn't pull the white levels. It completely failed. As you can see right here, it can't see white light at all. It basically becomes dark. So that right there shows the customer at the end of the day that no, if you do a black sheet, black fabric, I don't care what it is, you can pick up contrast, but your white levels will drop dramatically. As your white levels drop, guess what? Color drops along with it. You need both balances in order to produce better color. You need a white balance and a black balance to do it. And that's what's going to happen. So that's why you see all these test demonstrations here on our test page. Certified screens. We got people at the end of the day, I told you can afford $20,000, $30,000 for a screen. They got the money. They got deep pockets. For them at the end of the day, they couldn't care less about a screen paint. They want to certify, they can go buy it. How do I get their business? Well, I can go in there and show them that we can knock out 9 certified screens with our technology with no problem and show a massive difference between night and day. That they don't have to go out and spend a ton of money for a projector that can produce a very high contrast level because our screen does it automatically, regardless of what projector they choose, as long as it's name brand. So you have to be able to back that up. You see how well lit the environment is? That's how the environment must be when you're doing a demonstration, displaying your products. You can't be stuck in the dark. That's a good way of cheating. Over here, this is one of the harder demonstrations. This is a demonstration being done with 4 sheets of white paper and a black surface at the same time, showing that our screen can not only maintain its contrast levels, but also too can pick up a perfect balance. You have to have a perfect balance. I see people putting that in their description for the paint, balance. What do you mean by balance? You can't put balance in your description of your specifications of your product if you haven't shown a balance level test, which you don't see at all, period. Demonstrations again. These are different screens that we've done. Certified screens right here versus it's the black series. Oh, it's complete cinema. That's a complete cinema certified screen, which means that container we had down in we have for 120, what's our 24 ounces, can knock out a $5,000 screen with ease because we have the test demonstrations showing the results. When it comes to gray products, how many certified screens have you done? I'm not talking about some dark, dim environment. I'm talking about a fully lit environment to see how the screen is going to react. Always done in the dark. All right, let's move over here. Black versus black. This is Black Dynasty paint. Black Magic, which is from Lowe's. Black Dynasty is from Home Depot. Black strip of fabric in the middle. And even I got bored in the demonstration because I've done so many of them. I decided to take the top of a camera bag, which we have right here, and use it against the screen because I had a kind of a shiny material. I kind of liked it. See if it would actually match our product. That's how high our white levels pull up. Another test demonstration, black paint, black fabric. Again, black on black test. Certified screen demonstration showing our product against certified screens. Whew, man, we've done the job. Do we do the work? Black fabric, this is my favorite one. We basically take black fabric, pull it over top of the screen. We rip the middle up and pull it open so you can see the difference between our white levels and the black fabric because we give out a free blackout cloth surface. And as I said before, we had a customer who wanted to call himself trying to get over, said, look, I'll just take the black fabric and I'll just send you back this. Fine, we took it. Somebody else bought it. And then what happened was when he tried to watch a movie off of it, his screen was extremely dark and he couldn't see it. Yeah, lesson learned. And we can't sell back to you after that. All right, let me see over here. Black versus black test again. As I said before, gray screen paint products need to do a gray versus gray. You have to be to show the difference of your product versus another great product. Not only that of great paints, but how do you compare it to other people who sell great products also too? All right, let me see. So none of their tests were done. We all know that. Let me see if we can blow this up a little bit here. So there's my test right there. That is black fabric. Actually, that's black micro mesh. Black micro mesh, black fabric, and Dynasty. I think that's Dynasty black paint from Home Depot. And that is also Black Magic. That is from Lowe's. Because you have to see that they're telling you that there's something special about their product and why it's worth the money that they say it's worth. Then they have to be to show you this. And this is why the tests are important, and this is why they should be done. If you do not find a test page on the website, you can't find any videos whatsoever showing the comparison of house paint versus their product, then you don't go near it. Because again, you very well could just do the same thing by just going to a Home Depot or Lowe's, a Benjamin Moore, a Sherman Williams, and doing the exact same thing yourself. That's all. You have to be able to show those tests. Now, if this puts pressure on anybody who's selling a product, at the end of the day, if this is putting pressure on you, then it clearly shows you have not been doing your job correctly. Anyone who has a product that's tested and can show a difference, this wouldn't bother them. This only bothers people who do not test their products. Now, you see, when we do the black screens, we show two things. We show color, and we show contrast. I'm sorry, we show color and white levels. Because it's very important for us to be able to show that our products are not going to match any of these so-called black surfaces, or products or paints anyway at the end of the day. That we can back this. But again, I am requesting for gray screen paint products to be able to show the difference between their products and everyday household gray paints. Where are your tests? They can't show you this because, again, they match. As I said before, we have one particular YouTuber who has matched house paints on several levels. And again, none of the videos are posted to his site because, again, he can't show these videos off. So I'm going to make some phone calls. I'm going to see if they can make stricter guidelines. Even YouTube, contact them. See if they make stricter guidelines to make sure that people are not committing fraud at the end of the day. Because something has to be done about it. It's fair for the projector community, or projector home theater community, to be subjected by products that are not properly tested and bear no different results to everyday house paints. And they should not have a right to sell if they cannot back their products. And the reason why you don't have any tests or you don't see any tests under these products because they can't. If you can back their products, you would display it, but they cannot do this. Now you see all the light we have in the environment? Every time you do one of these demonstrations, you have to be in that much light. As you can see, we don't have any lights splashing behind the back of the screen. I just have my sensor bar at the top. But as to the consumer and customers that are buying these products at the end of the day, this is what you should be seeing when you shop for a screen paint product. You should be able to go to the website and see tests. You should be able to see a comparison of that product versus anything that looks like it or comes close to it. You should be able to see that. If you are buying a screen paint product and you are not seeing these tests, then you need to request from the person who made these products to do these tests. That's what you need to request. And we're going to put that on there. We're going to make that known that that should be done. That these tests should be requested for anyone who's selling a screen paint product. That you need to see the comparison. To know exactly at the end of the day that you're not getting robbed. Now, as you notice, we put that for that person to go out and do it. We had somebody, we know who. We asked them to do a demonstration against black fabric. They did it, well, sorry, against gray fabric. They did it one time, and that's it. Do you have any idea how many demonstrations we have involving fabric? Yeah, quite a lot. Quite a lot. Here's my color pattern test going on right now. I did a white level test. That's a color pattern test coming in right now. So that right there shows you that our screen paint, our black screen paint versus the black house paint, black micro mesh, and black fabric on our colors of levels, how they pull up next to the black surfaces. Anytime you want to, I put a link below where you can actually check out our test demonstrations. But not only that, you can go to our website. We have it posted on our website. And I do advise you to go do your research before you buy from us. Check how many people are displaying their products that are being tested. But most of all, like I said, that gray versus gray test, that should have been done a long time ago before those products were ever sold. These demonstrations were done before any of our black technology ever got sold. If they won't do the test, then you don't buy the product. You have to be to show the difference on your product versus everyday household products, so that way the customer knows that they're not getting fleeced or not getting robbed. They very well could be just buying just everyday house paint. No difference. And as you can see right there, we can show you that the difference between our product and several black surfaces. As I said before, we don't hide our test demonstrations. All our demonstrations are right there for everyone to see. Right out of the open. Like I said, if you go to the websites and you don't see a test page there showing any test products, and especially one of the tests you need to see is on our end it's black versus black, but on their end you should be seeing something called a gray versus gray. How do their products stack up against everyday household products? At that, they should be doing a little something different. Put some gray paper in there too while you're at it. Where's my go at? Whatchamacallit? Gotta leave out the door. I got orders to get out for my customers today. And I gotta contact another one back. That's a demonstration of black fabric. So, how does black fabric compare to our product? Well, we don't do this in a dark demonstration with a lot of red lighter on the screen. We do this demonstration in a fully lit environment, a realistic demonstration. People will use red lights because what red lights would do is they would change the color or the appearance of the color on the surface. So if you notice, when we do these demonstrations, we're in a fully lit environment, plenty of lights. My screen is 129 inches, 1610. This is the one I had built. And this is a black piece of fabric, and we cut it in half right here so you can see our technology on where our white levels lay at compared to the black fabric. These are the kind of tests that you should be seeing. Anytime you buy a screen paint product, this is the kind of test you should be seeing. If they can't provide you the test, then don't buy the product. That's why I say you got people just saying anything on camera and not backing up their stuff. Anything. That stacking system can't be backed up, that's garbage. Got to stack it up. What's the difference between those great products out there and house paint? Bed sheets, tablecloths, all that stuff can be tested without a bunch of red lights in the environment. No red lights should be present in the environment. It should be nice and bright. As you can see, let me see, I'm trying to figure out when I hit my belt because I got to get out of here. I got to go. I got to drop off packages today. Where's my belt? Oh, there it is. I'm going to do a color on that one. No, we did the snow dogs on that one. So that's why I think they should start restricting, asking for restricted guidelines before you are allowed to sell a product. Because again, like I said, anybody can mix any gray paint together or any black together and say, hey, look, we got the same thing, or we are making a great product. No, you need test. You have to have tests done. And we're going to push that as much as possible, that any customer who goes and buys a product, you go to the website. If you can't find a test page on the website, then you go to the person who sold the product and you request the test being done. What is the difference between that product and gray household paints? And what's the difference between that product and black household paints and fabrics and so forth? As you see, all our tests are basically displayed right there on our website. I just post a link for you to check it out. If you can't do these tests, you should not be selling screen paint. So you know that blackout cloth surface we give you for free? It's going to come up. Customers are going to say, well, you know, why would I even buy the paint? I'll just basically return the paint and keep the blackout cloth surface. That's the same blackout surface we give you for free. Without that paint, you can't see that white level. That's the difference between my product and any black fabric surface. It's tested live right there in a fully lit environment. No red lights behind the back of the screen, no fake nonsense, and a fully lit environment. My screen size is 129 inches, 1610, and a fully lit environment. If your environment doesn't match my environment, your product is a fail. Can you imagine how hard it would be for some people to be able to produce screen paint if they had to go by, we were the gold standard that you had to produce a screen paint under? None of you would be selling paint right now. None of you would be. If you can't match my test demonstrations on my page, I put it out there. Match my test. You can't match my tests, and my product went under the standard of what you have to go through in order to basically be able to sell screen paint. None of you would be able to sell. None of you. Not even Goose Screen. They wouldn't be able to sell. Knox, none of them. You would not be able to sell. Can you show me a difference? Why I should spend the money for your product versus a gray house bed sheet? And we've seen the bed sheet test. All these red lights. Why do you have so many red lights? And the average customer is not going to have that kind of red light because red basically discourages color. That's what it does. Man, I'm telling you. Don't talk about tests. Never bring up tests to me. Ever. So now I'm going to push to see what has to be done to make sure that customers are not being scammed by a lot of these paint products that are matching house paint. And for those of you making black screen paints, well, we have over 39 live test demonstrations on black test. Even some of them where we actually drew into a screen with black paint. Ooh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put our history up. I'm gonna put our history up on the LL, on the black series. We're gonna drop all our test demonstrations we've done on black products right there. We're gonna call it the history page, so people can go back and see our tests. As a matter of fact, I'll drop some of the Digital One crystal screen paints to show you where we first came from, to show you that we were developing your products long before you ever heard of. See, I can go back. I got a history. You guys don't have a history. You can't go back. You're stuck in the same product. But I'm gonna do, I'll put a history page in there for us, so people can go back and see where we first started from under Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, and they can go in and they can see us from where we did all our black test demonstrations. We got about 39, or we got a bunch of those. Yeah, we'll post all of them. I even got one where I actually made black paint on camera, mixed it, made 4 of them, put them against my screen. All of them failed. We're about to increase our status. We're going to drop in a history page. We're going to drop in a history page, go back to Digital One. We'll show our beta testers. Everybody was testing their products, show how far we go back. And then we're going to put in a black test demonstration page, which is going to show all black test demonstrations done on our products. I guarantee you, I have so many in that collection, I could circle you guys 50 to 60 times without blinking an eye, or blinking a lid, or whatever you want to put it. You want me to put a challenge for those against you? So the thing about it, we're asking is, they need to do something called gray versus gray. And a gray versus gray, what is the difference between your product and gray paint? Can you show us a difference? And not just one of them, all of them. All our screens are tested. All your products have to be tested. So if I go and spend $95 for a paint, and I can get it for around $23 a gallon, what's the difference? Mainly, what I want to see is the contrast levels. That's something we don't see enough of, is those contrast levels. We don't get that a lot. So, we all know every gray screen, literally I'm telling you in front of the door, every gray screen, any gray screen, is going to pick up color. It's going to pick up a white level. Can't pick up contrast. So, which one pulls the better contrast? Now, you see this, real quick, we had to mention his name, Jamie. Do you see this? Do you see that demonstration right there? Do you see the difference between that black surface and my black technology? There's a difference between night and day. You can clearly see there's a difference. We do not want hiccups. We do not want screens blending into each other with a bunch of excuses about a hue or a discolor. No. Do you see how much light we have in the environment? This is how much light you need to have in your environment. Because what happens if you stick a gray screen in that kind of environment, it will wash out completely, including the other paint will wash out too. So again, how well is your product going to be to maintain in a fully lit environment, even though you claim it's not ambient light rejection, but you still have to do the demonstration. Because customers need to know if they're buying house paint. Now, when we give away a free blackout cloth, as I said before, it's popped up. Well, why do I need to just keep the paint? Why don't I just keep the blackout cloth surface? We had a customer who regretted that decision miserably. He regretted it. He called himself getting over. He got the black surface that came here, didn't do it, tested, and said he wanted his money back. We gave him his money back because we knew what was going to happen. Because I knew he was going to try to buy again when he figured out that the black surface was not going to produce what he thought it was going to produce. Because it's black. That's the biggest mistake people make. And he got there, he put up that surface, he hit it, and it came up dirty, looking just like that. Well, our technology looks like that. He put an order in for the paint again, and his order was canceled. You reap what you sow. You don't buy from me now, ever. You want the black surface? You keep the black surface. That's a decision you make, that's a decision you keep. I don't play around when it comes to my product at the end of the day, and I don't need money. I'm good. We are well taken care of. I deny your order, and you can keep that black surface, because I know what's going to happen. You can't respect the product. At the end of the day, we can't sell it to you. You see that huge, massive difference? We've had people go out and paint entire theater sections with all black paint, thinking it was going to, no, it's not going to work. That surface is not designed to receive and accept white light. Now, as for the great products, can you back your products up? So I want to see these tests, and these tests should be done. No customer should ever be putting any money down unless they can see hardcore tests the product is actually not matching house paint. This isn't easy. We get these all the time for that one. Oh, those are certified. That's a little too easy. We've done those already. Certified is more like they compare for people who basically, as I said before, who have that additional money to buy those screens. Here we go. Now, this test right here, we're doing again. As you see, lots of light in the environment. And as you can see, this is black mesh right here. This is Dynasty, Black Dynasty paint. It was supposed to be how our product was made. Interesting. And that's a product called Black Magic. That is from Lowe's. That's the darkest one they make. And this right here is a strip of black fabric. You know, it's the same thing. It got me thinking about Goose Screen. All the other certified screens they have out here. What is the difference between your product and gray paints? How much of that stuff is going to match? Can you show me a difference between night and day? These household products. We already got one individual. He matched 3 of them. He literally matched 3 of these products. Did he match 3? No. Oh, wait. Yeah, he matched 2 of them. He matched 2 of them. One of the other products matched the black and white mixture, but he did match 2 of the paints. Now, test for them would be dark environment and a high-end projector. But guess what else picks up in a dark environment with a high-end projector? Network Gray does the same thing. The only thing Network Gray can't do is see a contrast level, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to show which screen is going to pull a higher contrast level, and you're going to have to be to show a huge massive difference. You see here where I'm showing nothing but white levels here? That's what I have to prove when I show up a black screen. Now, if we can do it, I don't see why they can't do it. And if you don't see it, then just go buy house paint. Let's see. You got your food right there? I'm going to go run out and drop this packages off for the customers right now. Get ready to get dressed out the door. Now, I told you should have brought the word test to me. That's the last thing you should ever bring up to me is test. We do nothing but testing. You sit there and hear me say on camera all the time, well, we can't launch it until we test it. We don't even know what we can do until we test it. So, where's your test page at? How do you know, as a consumer, that you're just receiving nothing but everyday household paint with a little glitter in it? How do you know? If you don't have any tests proving otherwise. What's the guarantee that they can give you at the end of the day that you are receiving an official house paint and you're not receiving, you're receiving an official screen paint and you're not receiving a house paint? Where's the proof? Where's the evidence? You have to be able to have that proof. Because the consumer could be just getting house paint at the end of the day. Now, these videos help us a lot because it comes up sometimes when we're doing business with a company or a customer, and they'll say, well, what if I just do the same thing with black paint or black fabric? I can do the same thing. Well, that's why the tests are there. The tests are to show that our product's not going to match it. And that the customer at the end of the day is getting a product that is what we sell is black technology. And we say as a heightener to pull those white levels, we have to be able to back that up. That heightener technology we design, we have to back it up. And that's how we back them up. Now you see the difference right here between, I showed you between night and day. Right there on that video right there. Let me come over here and pause this. Let's go over to, let me see. See the difference in that? See, none of that matches. That's what you want. What you don't want is you don't want product coming up where it's matching. That's what you don't want. That's a color change out. It's a color pattern change out. We can see the difference between purple on our screen versus purple on the black paint products and black surface. As you can see, it's a difference. And like I said, if they feel that they don't want to do these tests, well, you know what you got to do. You just go out and buy yourself some everyday house paint and just paint it to your wall. If that's what you want, that grade product in the day. If you want something better than that, then you come to us. Because we can back our products. Now, I guarantee you, let's see, even into the new year, you won't see any tests under their products. They can't test them now. They sold them already. It's going to look pretty bad that you've been selling a product. Oh, somebody already did it already. I forgot. Somebody literally already did it already. So somebody was selling their products and ended up trying to do that demonstration and match the screen and then pulled the videos and try to get rid of them. So somebody literally done that one already. And even worse, they still sell it on their website. Crow 1176. Got to put you out there, buddy, because you got caught. You got caught. And we're not going to try to clean it up and butter it up for you. It is what it is. You got caught. You did the very same thing. Why I tell people why products need to be tested. You see all these test demonstrations? These test demonstrations were done long before the product ever received the batch number. These are our test demonstrations before we can ever launch a product. So no customer had that product when it was under testing. We can't launch something unless we know it works 100%. But the fact that these guys basically had launched this product, sold this product, and convinced people that this product was something that it truly was not, and then ended up matching a house paint. And a very cheap one at that. This is a gamer being tested. See all these tests we have down here? All tests under the product. White level test against the limited black edition right there. Demonstrations on 1,000 lumens versus 5,000 lumens to show our screen's incredible gain capability that we can give a 1,000 lumen projector to make it bright enough to blend in with a 5,000 lumen projector. Not only that, one 720p, one is a 1080p projector, which proves you don't have to spend the money for an expensive projector in order to get picture quality. You have to do that with screens that do not have that capability. Our technology doesn't have that issue. Outdoor demonstrations. You guys have no outdoor demonstrations. The ones I've seen are very poor. Lied in your specification sheets. Where are your tests for outside? Nothing out there at all, period. That's a black level test outside on our outdoor screen paint. That's a white level test outside on our outdoor screen paint. Oh my goodness. That's a demonstration on white level and contrast at the exact same time. So all these tests are all here on the site for you to see, but no problem. We don't hide anything from you. We're not like that. You can go right here and check out all our tests, certified demonstrations for those of you that are in the field for certified screens, how we save you thousands of dollars. And keep in mind, demonstrations that we're doing here, or none of them were done on 4K. These are done on 720p projectors. That projector cost me $270. That's it. You see that, Jamie, right there? That's what I want you to look at. You see that demonstration? That's what you have to show. When I mean a difference of night and day, it cannot match house paint, house as fabric, and also too, like I said, that's a reflective black bag. Dynasty paint, Black Magic. Black Magic is the darkest one they have at Lowe's. See that difference? You have to show this. You do not want to come out looking like this. If you match it in any way whatsoever, that's a problem. And mind you, this is a product that match, and it's been selling for a while, which means every customer who picked up that product could have did the same thing with house paint. This is the blacklist. If you haven't been to it, this is where we expose people for scamming people with screen paint products. This is why I strongly believe that products need to be tested before they can be sold. Same thing with projectors, same thing category with them, because a lot of these projectors are knockoff. They came up too dark, they don't work. High-end knockoff projectors, again, don't work. This is the black and white paint that ended up matching. Actually, it is. It's an actual ingredients for the 2.0, Metallica 2.0. This is the actual ingredients on how to make it. There's the video right there. This is the product. This is Crow's Metallic, no, sorry, the Cinemax versus Network Gray 773. Do you see that, Jamie? So I can explain this to you. Do you see the difference when my screen hits black paint on a white level, an all white screen? You can see the difference, can't you? We can't see the difference there. They both look the same. So this is why I think it should be a requirement before any screen paint can be sold. They should have restrictions on these platforms and different sites, so customers don't end up getting robbed and getting scammed, because you have products right here that are costing customers $95 and up for something they could do at $23 and less. That's his video right there. These are products we literally made out of his own ingredients that he posted a long time ago. We were able to make 3 of his screen paints for $40 worth of paint. And these are the slideshows off the original video to show you how close his screen matched. As a matter of fact, it did match. Now you see the difference between this and what we're showing. And mind you, the product we just showed is a product that wasn't even available to the customers when we were doing the test. This product literally was available to the customers and was being sold to the customers. As a matter of fact, as we speak, it's being still sold today on the website as if it never even happened. And this is why it should be a requirement before any screen paints can be sold. They must be able to show a difference between everyday household products, so that way the consumer is not getting robbed. Now, if this upsets you and you're angry, then it clearly shows that you have something to hide. Anybody, if they told me at the end of the day, hey, you have to show the different, where do we sign up? Where are we doing this at? What time of the day? When are we doing this? Anybody that can back their products are the first ones to jump to go, let's do this. People that get upset and get angry and frustrated with this are people who cannot back their products up. This is a person who did this video right here. We do open mic sometimes, and he comes into the room in all caps, emojis, and screaming and yelling, because I don't know what he's yelling about. It's his video. No one put a gun to his head and said, hey, look, you got to make this video against your own will. You came up with your own idea and you matched the product. And the reason why you matched the product, because you did not test your product. So how many of these products out here are doing the same thing that Jamie's paint does? How many match? Let me just put something new in here, didn't you? Bare silver screen, that was a complete match, and there's another one right there, it's a complete match. Have to be to test your products out. Now, why? I can understand why you're mad at me at the end of the day, because you're being forced to test your products out. You should want to do that anyway. No one ever had to force me to do tests. We do it for the sake of just doing it because it should be done. But it's not just him. Like I said, it's not just him. There's a few other people out there that need to be tested. Matter of fact, all of it. I think all of it should be tested. Everybody should be. If we're out there testing our products and we're putting our products out there for everybody, why shouldn't everybody else be? What's the problem? What's the holdup? That should have been done before a product was ever sold. I'm curious, to tell you the truth, besides outside these great mixtures, what about these certified screens? How much of their products match household paints? Can they show us a difference? Just like the certified screens and ambient light rejection. How many of your screens are actually fully ambient light rejection technology? Didn't come into this business to be friends. I came into this business to ruffle feathers. That's what I came here to do. If anyone's going to stand against my technology, you sure enough better be able to back it, because I will come after you. I will expose you for what you are. How can you not match and better our technology? If you can't match and batter it, that means your product is not tested. And if you're selling a product and it fails to house paint, that means how many customers bought that product that could have ended up just going and buying the Sherwin-Williams or any other house paint at the end of the day and would have got the same results. You can't get on camera and talk all this blah, blah, blah nonsense if you don't back it up. If I tell people at the end of the day that our technology has an advanced heightener that allows our black formula to be able to receive and accept white light, what do you think the black on black tests are for? So if you guys can't come up there and tell people at the end of the day that, well, our screen produces beautiful colors, big deal. Any house paint can do that. Any great product can produce colors. White levels, guess what? They can do that too. Guess what they can't do? They can't see contrast. So you would have an insane screen paint if you basically have a great product that can pull a contrast level that would be able to outperform. And I mean, it has to be a huge difference. Can't be a little bit of a hiccup. It has to be a huge difference. Like I just showed you with our product versus black paint versus a white surface. You can show a huge difference. If you could do that with a great product, then you have a pretty impressive product. Now, you'll never see a 100% contrast level, but what is the difference? What is the difference between the contrast level in a fully lit environment versus any other household paint? As you can see here in the demonstration you just saw with this particular individual, that he matched house paint. So it didn't make a difference if he showed color or not. He still matched it. Question for him is, how many of his products are matching house paint? Now you can see there's two different shades there, right? So how in the world did that screen just blend into his screen that quick, that fast? Because it's house paint, that's why. House paint always marries well to house paint. That's how we know it's in the product, it's house paint. It's pretty much that same, what you just saw in the first video with that black and white mixture, that's pretty much what you just bought. And you just saw that, right? You saw there were two different colors. Just like when you saw with Partey's paint he was showing off. There were two different colors. They weren't exactly the same when he laid it up in the fireplace, but he blended into the wall. The wall was a completely different color, and it still blended his screen because it's house paint. That's why. Now we stick house paint against our screen and black fabric. We got to make stuff. We got sheets up there and mesh. We don't match any of that stuff. And we could do that in a fully lit environment. You guys failed in a dark environment. How do you fail in a dark environment? Here's the receipt right there. And like I said, I don't want anybody to think that, oh, you're just picking on. No. This is for a lot of people. We're going to ask this for it. Well, how many of these screens? Matter of fact, even interesting, you have several different versions of gray screen paint products on eBay. How do they compare to those products? And they're cheaper. They're much cheaper than his product. His product goes for $95 for a quart. They sell 3 quarts for $95. So how does he compare to Pro HD? There's a whole bunch of screens up there he hasn't done any demonstrations against. What's the difference between that? They don't want to go near them because their paints are cheaper. That's why. So he's going to probably go in and probably tamper with their products too and try to make them seem darker. It's kind of hard to do when their screens are actually super light. Now look at it. Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that? Just want to show you just a little bit. Not too much, but did you see that? See the difference in the color? See where the network gray is a bit lighter? But it blended right into his screen. Now you see that? See the difference, how it's much lighter than this screen? Now watch this. Watch it just blend right on in. Right there, he probably thought that he was going to get a more of an overhand on the screen, like he's going to be overpowered, because his product comes up, the network gray comes up much lighter. So he thought he was going to be overpowered. The problem you have is the network gray produces a much higher white level, and that's why when you showed the GE or the snowboarding or LG snowboarding, that's why it was maintaining at such a high level, because it's actually quite lighter than yours. But it also too can maintain its color and balance right next to your screen. Now, something we also noticed too, that he had a red light over here in the back, and he was pushing the red light in this area right here, and that's why the screen was coming up a little bit faded, because he was hitting it with a light. Gee whiz, I mean, everything just to cheat. And as you see, when you put the lights out near the end, you try to darken the environment, maybe to try to get an vantage point, but that didn't work at all, period. So if he had did these tests, why tests are important, if he had done these tests, he could have saved himself the embarrassment that he could have done. Also, too, he would have been able to, if the question did come up, he would have been able to provide very serious information for his customers that his product could not match house paint. But the product was never tested. And since the product was never tested, this is what he had to go through. And he really believed in his head, that his product was going to overpower it. And we just did that demonstration 6 months to a year ago, and I clearly said, no, you are going to have a really rough time trying to take that screen down, because the Network Gray 773 has a perfect tone attached to it. Where people, when they try to get the perfect tone, they got to put so much black paint into it, and if they put too much, then they mess up the balance. What makes the Network Gray 773 so dangerous is how much black paint they put into it is an actual perfect tone, which means that stuff will match just about anything except for a 2.0. We leveled that in a 2.0. We leveled the slip silver. As a matter of fact, if you look up Amazon slip silver, only we pop up because we tested it. You don't want to see screens matching that close. This is why I think it should be a requirement. Before a product can be sold or have the right to be sold on any platform, it needs to show that the product can pass that basic test, because the consumer does not need to be cheated at the end of the day. I wonder how many people that were sitting home and had that Cinemax sitting on their wall and saw this demonstration. What kind of reaction would you have at the end of the day if you bought that product because this man got there and told you that this product was going to show enhancements, it was going to give you better color, it was going to give you better contrast? He told you all that in the day, and you're sitting here and you're watching this demonstration, or you're watching the demonstration he just did. There were no customers in that. And by the way, we did the recording on that too. We got several recordings on this, but we did when we posted. What were the customers in there? People were like, were customers in there? And I said, no, there were no customers in there. We recorded that. There were just trolls in there, and the other trolls weren't really acknowledging what was going on. The only one that said something about it was Solowake 5. He's the only one that said something. He said, "Oh, it looks so totally different. I can see the difference." Yeah, this is a person who basically tried to make a fake receipt on our products, claiming he had something he didn't have. So your credibility and how you speak and what you say doesn't have any weight to it whatsoever. But there were no customers in there because the customers could clearly see, anybody can clearly see that they're a match. And even he saw, eventually, it was a match because he removed the videos off his account, because even he knew it was a match. This is why I think, and I think I should be, that screen paint should be tested before they are sold to the consumer, so the consumer doesn't get cheated. And this is a perfect example of why they should be tested. Consider the countless people who sales he made from people who bought this product from him. Ugh. Whew, I gotta leave out a few minutes, thinking that they were going to get something special for their projector and trusted this guy just to end up getting house paint, something they could have just did themselves. Now, if you heard a bunch of notifications going off on my phone, that would be Jamie. He's very upset. He's always upset. He always hits our account. He cries all the time when we do these videos. And he's crying because customers are asking the questions that he doesn't want to hear. He doesn't want a customer that's going to come in and ask him to do these tests. He wants a customer that's not going to say anything at all, and he can basically mold their mind the way he wants to, so he can sell them this mess at the end of the day. He doesn't want 100 of my kind or 200 of my kind asking questions. Because what's he going to say? If someone comes in there right now and says, hey, look, can you do me a favor? This guy over here is saying that your product's house paint. I saw the video demonstration. You match house paint. I can't find the video. What's going on? Can you prove this guy wrong and do a demonstration today of showing these products he's claiming you're matching? Can you do it right now? There you go. That's why he's upset. He's getting a lot of pressure. And not only should he be getting that pressure, not only just him, you need to question everybody. Why do you think we have all these tests on our page? Why do you think we do all these test demonstrations? Because we're questioned. We got to be to back our work up. That's why if you look in the bottom of the caption, you can see my link. That's my link to my entire test page. Knock yourself out. Enjoy. You have to be, you can't get on camera and talk trash. Same thing like Partey. Your product needs to be tested against house paint. I don't see one demonstration of your product even testing. He made the attempt. You got to give him that much. He made the attempt. It's not good. He scammed a whole bunch of people in the process, but he did make the attempt. Where Partey never made the attempt. What is the difference between Partey's products and house paint? No test done. Matter of fact, even more important, I would love to see him take that screen and stick it against that theater wall and see how close that thing matches on every level. Do some color level tests, do some white level tests, do some contrast, and do it in a fully lit environment. I would love to see that. Haven't seen that one. What about Goose Screen? Oh yeah, I'm calling you guys out too. How much of your product matches house paint? Do you have any tests on that? Paint on screens. What about you? Knox. Curious to know how much of your product can match a house paint. I don't see test demonstrations being displayed on your site showing otherwise. Anybody and everybody on eBay. How much of your stuff matches house paint? Because I don't want this individual to cry and whine all day, because I get tired of him crying and whining to us all the day about this, that, and the other, about how poor me. But anyway, as I said before, you're the only one that did the test, but at least he did the test. And you got to give him that much. He did do the test. He scammed a lot of people. He did. He lied to a lot of people. He didn't test his products out correctly, and this is the result. Now, this is a nightmare to come for those of you who have not tested your products. This is what's going to happen to you. The same thing that happened to Crow 1176 is going to happen to you, because you launched a product that's not tested. And if your product matches any of those house paints out there, then it's going to be a nightmare for you. You're going to have to close up shop. See, I don't even have to test you guys at the end of the day. I don't have to bring you against my screen. I can clearly just have you request to do tests, and I can watch you crumble because you don't do your tests. I can drop a test page on top of you with 70 videos, all tested, and ask you to match and beat every last one of them, and we know you can't do it. That's why when we mark on our videos unstoppable, untested, and unmatched, I'll show you what I mean by that. So just by me just speaking those words of just asking you to do these tests, if any of you, and I mean any of you, match any one of those household paints, that is the end of you, right there from the door. Because it shows that you sold a product that clearly the consumer could have went out and did himself, and they could have saved hundreds from not dealing with you, as this guy just did to himself. So you, a message to all you screen paint makers out there: you look at Crow's video good and long and hard, and you think about it. You better not match any one of those products. If you do, you will actually get the same fate he has. Next time, test your products. I didn't really want to speak on this, and I didn't. Sometimes I hold my tongue sometimes. I sat there and said in the video one time, and I had somebody's product down there. I could have easily taken their product and I could have put it against house paint. Goose Screen. I could have easily put your product against house paint, but I didn't. That wasn't my intentions. My intentions when the product came down was to show that my product is the blackest. My product produces a 100% contrast level. That was the whole purpose of the demonstration. That's it, enough said. Because someone's going to sit there and tell me that a screen that they have called a something Ultra Max, or whatever it's called, can produce the highest, not next to a black screen, you won't. And that's what I had to display to them, to show them that clearly, no, you do not sit in the category of our black technology. And the theory that you have that black screens do not have the ability to accept and receive white light, yes, we do. Well, I do. Now, question I have for all of you great products out there on the market. How much of your product matches household paints? Not one. There's multiple versions of them. Now, the problem you have now, you have to worry about is either you can ignore it, which is not good. If you ignore it, this becomes extremely bad for you because it shows that you can't back it up. If you go first and you do the challenge, what's going to happen if you do match, you're going to have to pull your item right off the shelf, right from the door, because it would clearly show that you are selling a product that the customer could make themselves. And that makes you a potential scammer, as this person is already doing on his site already. Whew, that's going to be rough. That's going to be real rough. Oh, well, it's not my problem. My stuff is tested. And if you're upset and angry and screaming and yelling over this, well, it just clearly shows that you have outed yourself because, again, you're guilty. You haven't tested your products. And this is the reason why, and I don't care, why people, we're not saying just certain people, not customers. Our customers love us because, again, we can back our products up. They're not getting robbed at the end of the day. But this is why the big companies don't like us, because, again, we can knock y'all certifieds out at will with no problem, and we can charge far less for our screens. On top of that, our screen paints are basically produce much bigger screen size than a 100-inch screen. That's at $4,000 to $5,000 or even $3,000. Our screens are ultra short throw compatible. You have to have a special screen for that. You're in ambient light controlled environments. We can have a 127-inch screen on a $150 projector, 19 feet back, sitting in a bay of windows if we choose. Can't do that. Our ambient light projection technology is real on so many levels, it's not even funny. I can display the universe off my ceiling at 180 inches, and I can read a book at the same time while watching a 150-inch screen on a $60 projector. You don't have that way. You can't say that. We can. So as for our certifieds, we can overpower you on so many levels, it's not even funny. As for your great products at the end of the day, or any other screen paints out there, you do not have the required test demonstrations to back your products, and we do. So that would make us the dominant technology. I don't even really, at the end of the day, I don't even have to, don't really have to, I'll tell you the truth, I don't have to waste my money or my time buying your products. So all I have to do is just say one thing. Do your test demonstration, gray versus multiple gray paints, and show us the difference between your product and that product. Why the customer should be going out and buying your product versus an everyday household product. If you can't back it up, then where are they going to buy from you? Now see how he leans into the camera? Because he's showing the difference in the contrast level. Watch how he leans to the camera. Now watch when the screen comes on and the colors blend again. He puts his head up real fast. Well, yeah, a commercial. Matched a commercial. And mind you, he's using a $3,300 projector in the demonstration, Ultra 4K laser projector, and it does the same thing on house paint. So when you was talking about quality that you were getting at the end of the day, you could have got the same thing from the house paint. Now, like I said, for those of you who are going to be taking on this challenge, or you got to do this, it's not even a challenge. It shouldn't be a challenge at all, period. You should have done the test anyway. It shouldn't be a challenge. It should have been a test you should have done. So you know what you're going to be up against. I want you to go to the blacklist if you basically can't find the video, which you will not, and you watch this demonstration. If you make a gray screen paint product, this is what's going to happen if you don't pass. He did this video demonstration live. You're going to have to be live also. If you choose not to do it, then it just clearly shows your product is house paint. If you choose to do it, then and you match, then that's the lights out. You just start pulling your product off your website or eBay account or whatever, but you can't sell something that the customer can pick up and do it themselves. I don't have to buy your product to bring it down here to show it doesn't work. All I have to do is just mention one of our tests, and that's it. Good luck. You're going to need it. Could be worse. Could have requested it outside. Ugh, that's absolutely awful. Let's see. Over here playing 1292. Here we go. That's the difference between my stuff and y'all's. That's black fabric versus my screen. You see my environment, how much light that's in there? Without the test alone, you guys couldn't even survive in that environment. There's too much light, your screens would wash out. I know because I watch all demonstrations, you guys all sit in these dark environments. That's a white level test against this black technology. And if you say it's a caliber projector, we tested your stuff on high caliber projectors. I have venues, so you didn't pick up on venues. Gray screen can't see on a venue projector. There's too much light hitting the gray screen. It'll wash out too fast. See the difference between night and day? Without our technology there, that black surface wouldn't pick up jack. This is black fabric. I had somebody ask me that question one time. You know where we get our tests from, right? We get them mostly from trolls. Trolls will come in and give us like crazy requests. The best troll I ever had was this guy who came in one time. We were doing these tests and we were showing our screen's color levels. And this troll came in and said, "What about your screen versus gray?" That was the best one ever. You know how embarrassing that is when you watch a black screen produce a better gray level than a screen that's physically gray? That's pretty bad. And we had one comment saying, "Oh, but I can do the same thing with a black bed sheet and a tablecloth." Well, there you go. They ain't matching our stuff. I don't know what product you got up here at the end of the day. That's why I said Partey makes that black paint. Oh, where's your test at? Because I haven't seen this one done yet. Again, this is an individual, let's put this in real quick, who knows nothing about screen paint. Dude, I was here before you ever existed. You didn't even exist in the world that I was in. You still didn't exist where I'm at now. First things first, I'm not going to get into the whole, oh, good gracious, on how crazy your freaking instructions are. We're not going down that road. We've been there and done already. That's been done to death. The simple fact that you think your product is a gain between 8 and 9. There's no such thing as an 8 and 9 gain. It's either one or the other. It's either 8 or 9. That's another problem we have right there. Oh, there's so many things wrong with that stuff. It's not even funny. That stacking system is crap. That's not real. You can't back it up at all whatsoever. I haven't seen that one backed up. And how many great products are matching your product at the end of the day? Actually, I want to see that theater wall. I would love to see him take that surface and stick it right up on that theater wall so we can see the difference, but we never saw that either. So that tells you right there from the door there's an issue. But we got this demonstration from a troll. A troll came and asked us what was the difference between our product and a black bed sheet. There you go. And they get mad, they get angry, they get upset, they bite their bottom lip, stare out the window for a half an hour, probably ponder, I don't know. But yeah, we test our products. That's why I can come on live and laugh on the camera, crack jokes, and do these demonstrations and have fun, because again, we've done them so many times. It's not even, oh, this is the demonstration with the weight loads, isn't it? Yes, it is. Too easy. This is before the product was ever sold. These are test demonstrations you're watching before we ever sold the product. So we test ourselves before we sell it. This is why the challenge I just gave all of y'all, not one, all of y'all, this test, this is why you're going to have a hard time passing it, because you've never tested your product, so you don't know what's in stored. And because you don't know what's in store is the reason why you're going to choose to ignore this as much as possible, because you don't know the outcome and you do not want to end up like Crow or Jamie Fernando Gonzalez, either way you want to put it. You don't want to end up like that. It's a snowboarding demonstration. See, I ain't painting no mind. See, I'm just walking up and down the stairs. We've done it too many times. I went upstairs to get something to eat. I was talking to somebody there, bumped into my mailman. I was having a conversation with him. I'm not downstairs doing it, because we know most people who are doing these tests have to be in the room, because say if a contrast level pops up, they have to be there to probably detour to something else, because the screen may wash out badly. I can go upstairs. I told you, half the time in demonstrations, I was cleaning the house. Didn't need to be there. Screens tested. If I was doing a showroom demonstration, I could literally walk out of that, leave the screen there, go down to a vending machine and get something to eat and talk to somebody on the phone. I don't need to be there. That screen's designed to handle itself. I couldn't care less if contrast levels pop up, color pops up. What would I be concerned about? It's a tested screen. I don't need to be there. That's why I'm upstairs. Yep. That's how we do it. If you want to check out the test, mind these tests are long. Our tests can range anywhere from an hour to 3 to 4 hours long. So they're lengthy tests. Can you imagine asking a gray screen paint to do a test for that long? They would lose it over there. Look at this. Got bored. I started taking out black film. This is the gamer. So the gamer versus white paper, black film, and black fabric. Jamie, just a little lesson here for you. Not one of our screen paints are tested. Every single one of them have tests. If you don't know, Jamie is a fellow, for those who are watching want to know, Jamie is Jamie Fernando Gonzalez. It's a fellow who makes the Crow 1176. He makes that cinematic screen paint, as I showed you in the other video where he matched the product. This product is still being sold on the website. But for the other people who are going to have to do this test, and he's going to have to do a lot more tests than that, that's not enough tests. Jamie's going to have to do several of those great products, and he's going to have to do those great products to show off the difference between his product and contrast levels. And you're going to have to do that in a fully lit environment. So how does your screen paint compare to cheaper paints that people can pick up anywhere online? Or actually at Sherwin-Williams, any paint shop? What's the difference? What's the overall advantage point of your product versus these products? Can you prove this? Can you show this? If not, if you can't back this up, then you just simply told your customers that they can just go buy house paint and do the same thing. Can you prove this? Can you do this? Can you prove this? Because I can. That is Dynasty, black film, because we get that all the time, and white sheets of paper. And I think we got a few certifieds up there too. Okay, now a lesson for those of you that are on eBay selling products. This is for all of y'all. If you want to know what your fate's going to be, all right, go to the blacklist and you go check out Jamie's videos where he voluntarily did this himself, and you'll see the outcome of it all. You do not want to end up that way. So if you do have a product and it does match behind closed doors, if you decide to do it behind closed doors, I would suggest you pull the product off your shelf and basically try to design something better that will basically not match that house paint at the end of the day. Because I think this is a requirement test that all screen paint should have to go through. That way the consumer doesn't get robbed. Now, if anyone's bothered by this, it's not the customer. Why would the customer be bothered by this? If I'm requesting for all screen paints to be tested with everyday household paints before they can be sold, why would the customer be upset about this? The only person to be upset about this are those who make the products. All right, with that being said, well, I got to get these packages down to my customers. If you want to see our test demonstrations and you want to see this, you go to the blacklist. If you want to see our test demonstrations, I did post our entire test demonstrations below. Go to our website. We have it right there on display for everybody to see. Enjoy. Got to go. God bless. Be careful. All right, we're done. And we got to get out of here.